Benavidez, remember what you said? You said, I know that Tank is something like this. I know that Tank is the main event, but this is my show. See, you thought that you was fighting a 37-year-old that's just going to lay down for you because you beat him up in sparring a few years ago. You thought that you was going to automatically get you a stoppage, and then you was going to do all this. I'm coming after Canelo again, probably, right? And all that. Well, now, for the people who are Canelo fanboys, right? Now, they have a legitimate argument because the way you looked, it definitely looked like you can't beat Canelo Alvarez. And I'm talking about at 168. Because I don't remember you talking about you had all these injuries. Does anyone out there remember Benavidez saying he had all these different injuries prior to the fight? Because if so, you wouldn't have been so confident into saying this is your show and this is my time and all this. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, because I know a lot of people was out there saying, oh, well, this is a new weight class for Benavidez. This is a new weight class. Those guys are bigger in their weight class. But in the same breath, you are the same guys that I was saying he's a big 168 pounder. He could easily fight at 175. You know, at least he won the match. Now, I thought the fight was competitive. It wasn't a total domination by Benavidez. I thought that Gvozdyk won the championship rounds. I think he won the last 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. He gassed up. He gassed up because he finally fought someone that's his size that he couldn't weight bully. You all saw it. You all saw it. And that's the reason why at the post interview, he kind of slid that in there that he's going to try. He might go back down to 168 for one of the titles, one of the vacant, whatever title that he was talking about. Y'all heard it. But this is what I'm talking about, right? It's like Charlo when he fought Canelo. Charlo isn't a natural 154 pounder. You're not a natural 154 pounder when you walk around 30 pounds heavier than 154. He fought in his natural weight class and he lost to Canelo and he didn't have the strength up there. And that's what it would look like with a bunch of these guys if they fought in their true weight class. Now, Benavidez is young, he's strong, he's fast, but he still had the speed. And Gvozdyk just was throwing the same punches, the same type of combination punches. But he couldn't bully him. He couldn't impose that size on him. And I'm supposed to believe that, or he could just impose his size on Bivol and he'll impose his size on Beterbiev. From his post interview, right? It doesn't seem like he's that confident in himself about doing it. Now, should boxing fans be so quote unquote impressed at the way he looked against the 37-year-old Gvozdyk? Listen, he thought he was going to stop him because of the beating that he took before from Beterbiev. And I know Gvozdyk was on a little win streak, but they weren't on the competition level of a Bivol or a Beterbiev, right? Or they weren't even in the competition of an Anthony Yardy. But he's 37 years old and he got beat. Beterbiev stopped him. And they thought that they was going to stop him. And had he stopped him, he would have been talking mad-ish about Bivol and Beterbiev and everybody else. Now, I guarantee you, most likely, if he stays at 175, his next opponent will be someone from 168 moving up to 175. If he stays at 175, and I'm pretty sure he will. Don't let him fool you and lie to you and tell you that, oh, it's easy to make 168. he could make that so easy. Because if he would have just stayed down there and fought his next fight at 168. But he's a big boy, and everybody knows that he's a big boy. And everyone, this whole argument of Canelo ducked him and Canelo was running. Look, I don't know who's right. I don't know who's wrong. But what I do know is one person left the division and one person stayed in the division. So I'm not sure about all this who's ducking who and all of that. Because this person, and a lot of you guys were saying, well, I can't wait on Canelo. I can't wait on Canelo. So I'm going to move up to 175. But then after the fight, you say you're going to go back down to 168? Somebody's not a weight bully anymore. Somebody can't impose his size like he can anymore. Come on, y'all. You guys were calling this guy the best 168 pounder ever. And he would win the Super 6 tournament. And he would beat James Toney. And he would beat Joe Calzaghe. Joe Calzaghe would beat this guy with one eye closed in Joe Calzaghe's prime. Matter of fact, Joe Calzaghe, out his prime at 168, could beat this guy in his prime. And that James Toney, Roy Jones, all would do the same. So all you guys over there jumping on the bandwagon and saying that, look how great he looking. Bivol is next. Ask Benavidez who's next. Because right now it looks like he's going back to 168. Please like, share, and subscribe to the MOBC, My Own Boxing Community.